Hello, my name is Daniel Clark and I'm a co-founder of Ambr Grading. I'm also the lead authenticator and grader. I have been playing Magic the Gathering since 1994 and Pokemon since 1999. I picked up Final Fantasy TCG in 2016, and I have also learned how to play and currently play Magi Nation, Flesh and Blood, and several other TCGs. I am serving as a level 2 Magic Judge, and I was previously the area captain for the state of Hawaii for Magic the Gathering. I have been a Magic reseller for the last 18 years, and Magic and other TCGs have been a part of my life from my earliest memories. So authentication is a multi-step process. It's research, so knowing what kind of cards you're looking at, knowing what the different types are and what nuances are within those variations. It's also knowing what to look for within that variation to determine if the card is actually real or not. So from my own personal experience, whether you're buying cards on major sites or trading with friends, the chances of getting a counterfeit card are fairly high, especially if you don't know what to look for. There are very convincing counterfeits, and value doesn't necessarily correlate with whether the card is fake or not. There are cards that are 50 cents that have been counterfeited, and unfortunately some of them are really convincing, especially if the card is within a sleeve. As a Magic the Gathering judge who regularly has to do deck checks, one of the things we look for is to make sure that the cards are authentic. We have ways of doing it very quickly, just to, at a glance. But as a collector, there needs to be a lot more scrutiny to make sure that what you have is actually a real card. As a collector myself, I look at every single card that I acquire. If I'm able to, I look at them before I acquire them. And with my experience through the years, I haven't had any problem with acquiring counterfeits in several years. Early on in my collecting career, I was exposed to counterfeits that were incredibly convincing, and without knowing any better, they became a part of my collection, and it took a lot of time and effort to make sure that what I was looking at was accurate. So at Ambr Grading, we realized that no matter how high your grade is or how perfect a card is, it really doesn't matter if the card is not authentic. And it really doesn't help if the card is not classified correctly. I mean, as part of a grading and authentication service, it has to be categorization, authentication, and then grading, and in that order. Because if it's not done in that order, then the service doesn't matter much. And what we try to accomplish is by making sure that you get a complete service from us that actually increases the value of your card as well as the aesthetics, and makes your collectible something really cool to have, something you really want to show off, not just throw in a box somewhere. Every card that comes into Ambr Grading goes through a research and authentication step. At the research step, we're looking to make sure that we have all the card's information correct and we know exactly what card we're looking at, and then any anomalies that might apply to that card. There are some anomalies, misprints, that may cause a card to be triggered as a fake card, and what we're trying to do is make sure that when we have a card, we know exactly what we're looking at, so we know exactly what steps to conduct to ensure that the card is in fact authentic. Now, when it gets to the authentication step, what we're looking for there is as many as 10 objective pieces of evidence to prove that the card is in fact real. Now, we will do our best to never reveal what steps exactly we take. Because of the exploitive nature of counterfeit cards, any time that information then becomes public, without fail, counterfeits then tend to try and mimic those pieces of evidence to then pass off as authentic cards. Now, if you look at what Wizards of the Coast did in 2015 by producing little holographic stamps at the bottom of their cards, without fail, a few years later, counterfeiters started producing cards with very convincing holographic stamps. I hope this helped share a little bit about the Ambr Grading process and about me as your lead authenticator and grader. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. Thanks.